Lord God, her name was Sally. She lived in the Kanawha Valley, just outside of Charleston,
West Virginia, Aurora Rowless. West Virginia, Aurora Rowless. The gentleman's got the frauderizing. Got caught Skylark at a Parkersburg. Ollie River wobble water spark the herbs. Got the Braxton County Booker weed. Look at me with Tommy Wildfire out back cooking beef. Dingus, Stinkfinger, pinkest drink drinker. Rinky dink stink lingers on my blinky pink finger. Dead ringer for death eating a cracker. Part-time slacker, full-time slow.
How y'all doing today? It is June the 8th, 2019. Also just happens to be my big brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Aaron. And my dad's was 2 days ago on D-Day. Happy birthday, Papa. Love you, man. This is just a little intro to the upcoming podcast. We interviewed Charles Hatcher and really got to do an actual kind of like full-length podcast. We went, I think, like 51 minutes on this one, and in the vein of wanting to promote how things work and people getting into business and all that kind of thing. We definitely talked shop up front, and of course, me being new at this, it was a little bit of a rough start, but we start getting loosened up a little bit, and then it gets pretty entertaining there in the end. We just kind of kick back, start telling some stories. We got to plug Mountain Music Fest and the Healing Appalachia show. We definitely gave a lot of love out to people involved in both of those events, as well as like a lot of the bands, all the moving parts. If we left you out, you know who you are, and we definitely appreciate everything you did to make Mountain Music Fest a reality. And hopefully we'll catch you next time. But it was a great time, and I think you guys will enjoy the recap. Stay tuned at the end. I'm going to put some of the outtakes of Charlie and I just sound checking the mics in the shop because just in true Charlie Hatcher form, he's being hilarious. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And we hope you enjoy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
I don't know how it all works. Can I pick boogers for the internet?
I sell that to fucking Pornhub or something. Mm-hmm. Check. All right. All right, guys. We're here at Alpha Music, and is this technically Fairleigh, or do you consider this Roncevert?
Well, our mailing address is Lewisburg.
Okay, yeah, so we'll call it Lewisburg. So I'm here with shop owner, great friend, bandmate, and one of the, would you say, founders of Mountain Music Fest?
I think that's a safe word.
So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for episode 4, Who is Dingus Stinkfinger podcast. This is Mr. Charles Hatcher.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. How you doing?
I am honored to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you on, man. Thanks
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. We're kind of young in the game, so we're appreciating all the help we can get right now.
Hey, man, got to build something.
You got to kind of start from scratch. So that's about where we're at right now. So if I'm a little rough with this, forgive me.
You need some finger ease?
Finger ease, yeah. I mean, I'll use this to lube me up for now, so the deal work is fine. So we were talking about, your involvement in Mountain Music Fest. How did that whole thing kind of come to be? And
Well, I had an idea. This goes back about 8 years ago. And I was talking to Becky Satterfield.
Yeah.
Becky and I went to Fayetteville High School together. Age-old friend.
Yeah, I know Becky. Good
Hi,
gal.
Becky.
Hey, Becky. Shout out.
Well, Becky worked for Ace at the time, Ace Adventure Resort. And I was telling Becky my ideas, and she told me that I should talk to one of the owners, Ernie Kincaid. So I she set up a dinner meeting for Ernie and I to meet, and went up and we had dinner back at Dioge's in Fayetteville.
Oh, yeah. Great spot, man.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that place isn't there anymore.
Yeah. And sat there, and I laid out my plan for Ernie and told him what I was thinking and what I'd like to do. And he liked it. He liked my idea, and on the spot, wrote a check and said, book the show.
Yeah.
So I go back to Lewisburg, start plugging away at it, and come to find out that Fayette County had written regulations and rules to prevent exactly what we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I ended up giving the check back to Ernie, and he said give him some time to talk to the right people to see how we could make things work in Fayette County and make it make sense for the economy of Fayette County.
Right.
So it took about a year and a half. So we took that year off, and he called me up. I thought it was a dead issue, and he called me up and told me, he said, hey, I think we're going to do this. Let's get together and do it.
Right.
And we put the thing together. Started out as a kind of a smaller event. We built a nice stage. Ace put a lot of money into infrastructure and building the brand that we know Mountain Music Fest as today. They started out year one. It was myself and Brandy, and Team Brandy for life. But Brandy moved on, and now it's myself and Chris Collin, and none of it is possible without Chris Collin.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I've worked with him, or dealt with him, I guess, this
Yes.
year as being a performer for the first time, and
Yes.
he is really gracious guy, real great to work with.
There's a handful of
Doing a hell of a
guys
job,
and
man.
gals up at Ace that are absolutely crucial in pulling this thing together. Chris Fix, Puppy, the Reeds, Aaron and Steve, Kelsey down in the Welcome Center. Man, there's a pile of them that if they're not there, this thing cannot happen.
Right.
It is not me. I've got a bunch of crazy ideas that I give to them, and they tell me I'm either stupid or it sounds good. Fortunately, they've liked a few of my ideas over the years, and
Right.
we've been able to bring them to fruition. And I think we've really created a platform where we're able to bring in larger acts that normally wouldn't play this market.
Right.
In the music industry, it's what's called a proven market. West Virginia is not necessarily a proven market, but we have turned that mountaintop into a proven market through complete sweat equity and hard work.
Yeah. Now, logistically, like how have your numbers changed through the year? I mean, first year versus last weekend.
Oh, Lord of mercy. They have drastically changed it. There's been a lot of peaks and valleys too, and it depends on how you look at it versus Friday night versus Saturday night. We started out the thing with a platform of it being Americana Bluegrass Friday night, and then we moved into more of a jam band type thing. Right. And we generally put jam and funk on Saturday night. Well, we changed that platform 2 years ago, and it worked, but it worked logistically, but the numbers weren't quite there. There wasn't the support for it that we would have hoped. Still good, don't get me wrong. It was phenomenal.
Right.
But switching our format back this year to our original idea and our original plan, I think seems to really play out well for the audience.
Yeah.
A lot of folks liked what we went back to our Americana bluegrass-ish Friday night, and then Saturday night was funk and jam. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of folks up there. I know a lot of the locals over the years, and I hear gripes and complaints from us changing, and then I hear a lot of positive things.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to please all the people all the time,
it's not going to work.
You're chasing your tail.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, personally, and I've only been going for the past 3 years, I've seen just drastic improvements. Not that it was like a shit show the first year I went by any means, but you can tell things are improving. And
I would never throw us into the category of shit show.
Right. Gotta take
There's been a lot of things go on up there that you got to question sometimes, but you know what? It was all for the greater good of the brand and for the event.
Yeah.
And I go back to saying I can't keep everybody happy all the time, as hard as we try, but one thing I think that festival nails time and time and time and time again is the ability to create an atmosphere of people feeling relaxed and having a fun time and just excited to see what's next.
Right.
Oh my God, what are they going to do next?
Right, sure, yeah.
And it's worked well for us. It's worked really well over the years. In exit surveys, we like to do exit surveys and talk to our guests to see how can we improve your experience on that property. How can we create the better concert environment? To my knowledge, I don't know anyone that does anything remotely close as to how we do things and what we do, or have the capabilities to do what we do.
Sure. Right.
My God, that property's huge, and having a lake on property, the improvements that they've done in the lake over the past couple of years they've just added greatly to the overall experience that we're able to give to a guest that. And you just can't get
You're not going to get anywhere else.
No, man. Yeah. You know, are there other festivals that have been bigger and have bigger acts? Absolutely. That's not us, though. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to stay in our domain and create the coolest environment we possibly can.
Yeah. Well, it feels to me like you guys, you never like underplan for anything. All your bases are covered, but then also important too at a festival like that is you guys don't overstep. You guys don't try to go well beyond, like you said, your means. And you have like so many other different avenues that you can take advantage of.
This year,
outdoor recreation.
This year we hit our capacity and we shut that thing down. Mm-hmm. Could we put more people in there and made more money? Sure, we could have.
Right.
But that would have damaged the overall aspect of what we're trying to convey to the guests, in the sense that we could have crammed another 1,000 people up there, man.
Right, yeah.
But it just didn't make sense, and everybody walked away from it this year going, "Wow, man, you guys, you did it," and that feels good, man, because this isn't something that we just put together in a month.
Yeah.
I'll start into planning for next year probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We've already announced our dates for next year. Check us out on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's going to be the first weekend of June again next year, but it falls 2 weeks after Memorial Day, which is good for us because it gives us a heck of a lot more time to prepare.
Yeah, it gives you a little gap between the holiday.
A week.
Yeah,
an extra week.
Yeah, because, Ace has stuff going on
Absolutely
all the time,
they do, man.
Festival,
Absolutely they do. That water park is jam-packed constantly. You constantly see their boats on the river.
Yeah.
They constantly, and another thing that folks don't really understand either, I think it's, and I don't hold my feet to the fire on this, but I think we're 5 hours away from just north of a third of the population of the United States.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, because if you draw a circle
like DC,
around
Baltimore,
DC,
Charlotte, probably Richmond,
Philadelphia, Columbus, Pittsburgh,
right.
Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville.
That makes sense. I never even thought of it.
And I'll be interested to see the analytics come back from this year to see where our bigger pulls were. And we're fortunate enough to bring Tyler Childers in this year. He pulls really strong in the Kentucky markets.
Right. Now, that's a really cool story, especially from Mountain Music Fest. Because was it 2 years ago? He was playing on the main stage, but at 3 in the afternoon?
He was the opening act on the main stage 2 years ago at 4 o'clock.
Right.
Man, he has really, really, really put the hard work in and made the tough decisions and the right decisions to move himself forward. I couldn't be more proud of him. He's a personal friend of mine. He's got Greenbrier County roots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. He's a genuinely just original guy. He's no different today than what he was 5 years ago. Short of he dresses better.
He's got a little bit better of a haircut for sure. Yeah,
But there's a lot of cool things coming out of his area where he's from. He's originally from Eastern Kentucky. And the sound that is coming out of Eastern Kentucky right now in my little pea brain of a mind, man, there's something special going on there. Yeah. There really is. And the opportunity to bring that whole group with Arlo, with Justin, the Buffalo Wobbs, Magnolia Boulevard, Jocelyn and the Sweet Compressions.
Yeah.
I grabbed a pile of bands that came out of that. That's their home market, man. We snatched them up, big handful of them, plopped them on top of the mountain.
And they did a hell of a job.
Holy mackerel!
My experience getting to work with them, doing the MCing gig.
Yes.
I was getting to talk to each individual band and get to kind of know them on a little personal level. They were all super excited about the festival. They all said they'd been well taken care of. They had a great time playing. So for any bands out there listening in the future, if you get an offer to come down and do this festival, come do it. I mean, it's a great time. You get well taken care of. You're not getting swarmed with fans. People are real chill.
Everybody's very relaxed.
Yeah,
there, man. I always tell bands and guests of the event that whether we're paying you to be there or whether you paid us to be there, you're a guest of that property.
Yeah.
And I like to think that everybody gets treated as such. It's like I said, man. It's not like. I'm not dogging or bagging on any of the bigger festivals because they definitely do a phenomenal job of what they do. But I think the experience that we're able to deliver at the price point, that's another thing. Our price point this year killed it.
Yeah.
Our early bird sales were $100 for the weekend.
For the 3-day pass for $100. I mean,
it was a 2-day. It was Friday and Saturday. I got you Friday and Saturday, and then the 3-day. You had it on Thursday. Thursday got you the pre-party with Funk You, and if you're not familiar with that band,
those guys were incredible.
Lord of mercy, man! They're a lot of fun. They're great. It's kind of intimidating when you work with a band with 10 people in it. We're in a band with 10 people in it. And we're a bunch of assholes.
Absolutely. Yeah. With a bunch of diva-ass guitar players.
Yeah,
Charlie and I are the
man.
Rhythm section of our band, so we just get to kick it in the back.
Yeah. But no, Funk You, man, that's a group of just absolutely class act individuals.
Great guys.
And have an operation that big and have it as a well-oiled machine as they've got, man, that's a pleasure to do. Pleasure to work with.
I was super impressed. It's the Travers brothers.
Travers
brothers.
Holy
I've mispronounced that so many
man.
times. And Black Garlic. Did you hear the story about when Black Garlic started their set?
The
double rainbow,
yeah.
Right? So people were saying
That's
that was
crazy.
Stevie Watts was kind of smiling down on the festival.
Stevie Watts Stevie Watts is one of those characters in life that you meet that you can't really forget because the dude was hilarious.
Oh,
man.
absolutely, yeah.
And the way the tone and the way and the musicality that he brought to that band, man, it's something really special. And the fact that I knew that one of Stevie's ultimate goals in life was to get that band to play a primetime slot at Mountain Music Fest. Man, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was just damn cool, man. Yeah. As soon as they started playing, that damn rainbow pops up.
I mean, how crazy is
we're all
that
standing
shit?
out in the parking lot going, holy shit,
right.
this is wild.
Well, and it wasn't just, it's a cool thing to see, but it was kind of like the way I saw it was like, because I didn't even correlate that at first. Like,
I didn't.
Black Garlic playing at Stevie's. I was just like, well, that's a good omen for the weekend.
Sure, and it was.
And,
it was a fan. Man, we dodged a major weather bullet.
Right.
I was scared to death Friday night, man, because if you look at your phone, everything's saying,
that radar.
Doom impending.
It was looking like nasty, yeah.
And it's wild. Here's another thing, too, man. We've had some crazy storms come up. And when you watch it on radar, it bumps up against that mountain. And I'm not trying to sound like a fucking weird-ass hippie here, man. There's a pile of energy coming off that mountain, whether it be stink, whether it be heat from all the people there.
Right.
But when those storms hit that mountain, man, they seem to split around it and they collect on the backside of Fayetteville and hammer Fayetteville.
It's the condensation of all the weed smoke,
Yeah.
The weather patterns.
What it is.
The weather patterns break around that festival. If you look at it on radar, it looks like a giant vagina around Mountain Music Fest. So we're right there in the eye.
And there was, here's another thing too. There was a lot of different, for other friends of mine in the industry were there. I had friends there from Floyd Fest. I had friends there from Summer Camp. And a lot of other,
shout out to Miles from summer camp.
Jason
It's
Miles,
great to see
holla,
you,
baby.
man. Great to see you out there.
But you know, and they all are very complimentary of, or I don't even know if that's a word. Is that a word? Complimentary.
Yeah.
Of the way we're doing things.
Yeah.
And that further strengthens my, you know, drive to keep it small.
Right. Right.
You know, I don't want to play in their leagues, man. To hear the horror stories and the things that those guys talk about, man, y'all can keep it.
Yeah.
Y'all do a fantastic
Yeah.
job at handling those problems. I'm not suited for that.
Yeah.
I prefer to stay right where we live.
I mean, honestly, like Friday night at that festival with that surge of the Tyler fans that had showed up just for that one night, I was like, I think that's about as many people as you'd want. Which is great. I mean, it means
that's why you know, Chris Collin, he keeps his wits about him. He's on top of things. Had the wherewithal and the mindset to say, you know what, we're there.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
I felt bad, you know, declining people that showed up day of. But guys, that's why we do early bird.
Early bird, get your advance
pre-sale,
tickets,
man.
You know?
Save some money.
Yeah. So, do you have any like crazy stories from this past weekend? Anything you want to
I
share?
have a lot, but I can't share it.
You can't share that stuff? Well,
no, my friends from Kicking It on the Creek were there. And that's probably one of the most special things. I don't get to hang out with Byron enough.
Yeah.
Byron Roberts and his son Kenton and his girlfriend Morgan came up. Man, it's always a pleasure and a joy to spend time with those guys.
now, where are they from?
They are from Irvin, Kentucky. They do a small little festival in Irvin called Kicking It on the Creek. And if you've never been, you are missing out. You better pay attention because he will sell out, and he will sell out without announcing his lineup.
Right.
And I can tell you his lineup is not like anything you're going to see anywhere else. The way they produce shows is not like anything you're going to see anywhere else.
And what time of year is that?
It's in September.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, so that's
I believe he's second week of September. And it's in Irvin, Kentucky, and it's Kicking It on the Creek. You can look them up on Facebook. When they drop those tickets, you better pay attention because, man, they'll sell that thing out in 15, 20 minutes.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I wish I'd had the opportunity.
And they
to meet
keep
those
it.
guys.
I don't want to misspeak, but I think they keep it to it's either 1,500 or 2,000 tickets.
So it's just a family affair.
It is
basically.
a very family affair, and it is in his front yard.
Right.
And the level of production that those guys are able to pull off, and the quality. That's the key to it all, is the quality and the personal touch that they're able to put to that thing and keep it just exactly the way they want it.
Right.
Is unlike anything. That's something I strive to be more like.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think what it sounds like, and it's something that kind of shares a common thread with Mountain Music Fest, is even though Mountain Music Fest is considerably bigger than that, there is like kind of, when you're there, you sort of feel this like exclusivity. Like I'm glad we're here. It's kind of this small group of people.
It is. Man, you know everybody.
The same people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn around, and if there's anybody you don't know, you meet them. And
think about the family reunion we had with the Richards coming in. The Richards coming there, and Jake
and Robin and his brothers.
Yeah, man. I mean, that stuff like that's special, man.
Yeah.
And to be able to share that with your friends and everybody have fun and it just not get overburdened.
Right.
I mean, that's a good time, man. And I'll tell you another cool thing, too, is the next day, when everybody cleared out of there, the cleanup team that they've got up there at Ace is unmatched. Wes, if you're watching this, and your team is top notch. You guys do a bang up job, man. I'm glad to be a part of it. Let me see you later.
Well, I was talking to Everett and Julia and Hillary, and they were saying that they were kind of on the cleanup crew, and they said after Friday night, like they had filled up a bunch of bags, and it was a little more than what Mountain Music Fest was accustomed to. I came up with an idea, and I got to run this by you. As MC, which I hope I get to do again next year, because I had a fucking blast doing it this year.
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
I was thinking that I would, do like prizes or something like in Mountain Music Fest t-shirts, but put them in trash bags and huck them out to the crowd so people have trash bags.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
One of the things I did Saturday night at the very end when we were saying goodbye to everyone was I asked everybody in the audience to pick up 1 or 2 pieces of trash as they went out. I'm going to tell you what, I was standing there when it was done, and there was nothing there.
They cleaned out, yeah.
And that goes to show that the crowd that we bring in there, the quality of people that I feel that we're attracting and that we call our family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They're good people. They are, we had minimal medical emergencies this year. People were really looking after each other.
Right.
People were being my brother's keeper.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, man.
Who out of all the bands, as far as what you got to watch, who do you think was your favorite performance this year?
Oh, Lord have mercy, man.
And I know that you're friends with all these people, so
I am friends with all these people, but
I
I put this out publicly, and I'll put it out again. The MFB flat out murder it. Perry, buddy, you are something real special, pal. Another one, I don't really get to sit and watch any music
right
until it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm working.
Right. Well, that's what I like about how you stick me on the Strange stage on Saturday, because I actually sit there and watch music.
Yeah,
and it's a figurehead job.
I'll tell you another one that was phenomenal that I hope everybody caught and better pay attention to is the Vagabonds.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, they're good.
They were really good,
Another one that's really good too is Peter Kassan's band out of Richmond. Peter, I feel like a jerk. I can't remember your band's name.
Was that? I met those guys.
They used to be Big Mama Shakes, and they changed their name. What a phenomenal band.
Who were the guys that it was like Sun Stereo or something like that?
Sun Stereo, that's another sleeper, man. Those guys came from they're from Peoria, Illinois. Mm-hmm. I got turned on to them through Jason Miles.
Yeah.
Kelly and his crew flat out killed it, man. That is like an absolute troupe of performers.
Yeah, they were incredible, man. And definitely best dressed at the whole festival.
Yeah. You know what I mean? By a mountain, man. They were crazy. I got to go with the Kind Thieves too.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, those guys brought the heat.
Yeah.
I
was really
Ben
impressed.
Hunt was kind. Did you catch my drum cameo?
No.
Yeah.
That was when they played in the Strange stage late night?
Well, so the Strange stage. Let me back this up here. The Strange stage was something that I've always felt that in that event needed some marked improvement.
Right.
Ace listened, and my request did not fall upon deaf ears this year. Not that it falls upon deaf ears all the time, because they're very open to all the ideas we present them, but it's got to make sense.
Right.
So we upped the production value this year at the Strange stage, and we upped the stage itself. And man, I'll tell you what, 2 years in a row, that's been my favorite place to be the entire event.
I love it down there, man.
And I don't know if it's because I'm done with work at that point or
Right,
or the music is that damn good. But man, I tell you what, the Kind Thieves this year, I was hanging out with Nick McDaniels, a big something. And we're standing on the side, and I was like, Nick, let's get up there. We can play drums, man. Ben Hunt won't care. He's cool,
man.
He
don't give a shit.
I know
He's been jumping on everybody's drum kits since he was 6 years old any fucking way. So fuck that shit.
It's like, no, Ben's cool, man. He knows us. So we get up there, and then here comes Rob from
Black Garlic.
From the Works.
Oh shit, yeah.
And then here comes I can't think of his name. Killer drummer from PBR.
Do you know that's Drummy Zeb's kid from the Wailers?
No.
From the People's Blues of Richmond?
No.
He's Drummy Zeb's kid.
Well, he's a phenomenal
He's a
drummer.
great drummer. I gave him Drummer of the Weekend award, at least as far as what I saw.
So anyway, all of us get up there, and we're just, Ben quit. And Colby says, we're going to take a little break and have a drum solo. So we did.
What, Ben quit the band?
No, he didn't quit the band. He walked off stage for a second.
Okay.
He's probably like, fuck you guys.
Right. He's like, well, Charlie and this dude's coming up. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah. I did I tell you about the prank that the Floozies pulled on me?
Yes.
Dude.
I walked up right at the end.
Okay, so Charlie heard this, but just for you guys out there listening, this is hands down one of the highlights of my weekend. I have to give it up to those guys. I think it's Matt and Mark.
Brian.
They both have M names. It's like Mark and Matt or Mike and Mark.
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
they're phenomenal.
so it's like, yeah, they were great. But like as the MC, like I was going up to all the bands just saying, is there any particular thing you want me to say when I introduce you, and just kind of getting around. Well, one of them was like, yeah, we're from here and this and that. So I go to talk to the other one, and he's like giving this signal like to his throat or something. I was like, what the fuck, I was like, are you eating? Are you swallowing something, or what's going? It took me a minute to catch on. And his brother's like, oh, he doesn't talk. I was like, can he do sign language or anything? So he starts doing this like real primitive sign language, like a monkey, like, And I'm like, so did he just recently get mute or something? He doesn't know sign language yet because he looks ridiculous, right? And I'm trying to be kind about it, but at the same time, like, this dude definitely does not have his shit together with the sign language yet.
No.
10 minutes this shit went on.
No,
and
I walked up on the end of it.
Oh, my God. And then finally, the guy who was doing the sign language, whether it was Mike or Mark or Matt or, Maud or whatever his name is, Brian, he's like, you're a fucking dumbass, dude. I was like, what the fuck? He speaks. 10 minutes they had me on the line for that shit. But shout out to those guys, man. That was fun. Funny as hell. I wanted the
Floozies to do that because, they did that Love, Sex, and Fancy things. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite tunes that they do. And it was kind of cool because he took the time to tell me the backstory of how he come up with that song, how they were driving across Iowa, and he was driving his brother nuts, and he made him put his earbuds in. So me and him got to talking. I said, man, you need to sign language the words to that song.
Right. Oh, fuck.
And then they did Love, Sex, and Fancy Things into Country Roads.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought that was super classic.
That was good. Because, if you're going to pull off Country Roads in this state, every true blue-blooded West Virginian knows what's up with that song. So a lot of bands that come from out of state will do that. Yeah. And they really have to do it well for us to, appreciate it.
They did it in a very respectable way that I thought was... a lot of people came up to me and they're like, man, I never heard of the Floozies before, but my God, they're phenomenal. I was like,
they're just charming, great guys.
They're super nice. So I hope super nice.
Floozies to you guys. I hope you guys come back.
And their road crew, Rich Bondino, and their front of house manager, I can't think of his name. What a class act.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. I'd give it up to say, everybody that was, backstage, all the bands mingling, everybody. Everybody was just super chill. And I think that has a lot to do, with just the vibe of that festival.
That's one of the key things that I think that we nail every single time. Like I said, from the get-go, is creating an environment that an artist is relaxed in.
Yeah.
They're not worried about their check.
Right.
They're not worried about, did I get the right backline? Do I have the right things at front of house? Do I have all this? We handle all that to the nth degree to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're able to go out and give us their peak 100%. Right. Like working with bands like Humphreys McGee, phenomenal crew. They're the band themselves, phenomenal guys. They're so easy to work with. Their crew, bar none, is the best. Yeah. They're the most organized. And, man, these guys bring in a tractor trailer worth of gear.
Yeah, I've seen it, for sure.
And they make our job backstage tremendously easier. But we create it on the front end to where communication is key. Talking about everything well in advance and getting things worked out to ensure that things flow, man, and that it's a natural order of things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We've learned a lot from year one to where we are now.
Right. Well, it seems like it's very symbiotic. Like the staff there does a great job.
Yes. Everybody's
crews do a great job. The bands do a great job. The fans that come out are all in good spirits and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's just, and obviously, you've been to a ton of shows. I've been to a ton of shows and festivals and stuff. And I'm not just saying this, because it's people that we know that run it or it just so happens to be in our backyard. If I traveled to, fucking Idaho and they were doing this festival and it was that well run, I would say that it's my favorite festival.
A lot of people say that, man. We do these surveys, these exit surveys, and a lot of people say they're like, we don't know how you pull it off.
Right.
Through a lot of hard work, a lot of arguments.
Right. And dude, you got to think too. like I said, I've only been there for 3 years. It rains every year. There's rain.
Yeah.
There's mud everywhere. It's
Yeah.
it's not the most ideal sunshiny conditions all the
No.
time. And a lot of times that kind of shit will get morale down.
I only remember
but
one
everybody
year.
sort of just gets right through it. You know, it's not even a.
I can only remember one year, I think, where we had no rain.
Right.
None at all. And that was phenomenal. But,
Sure.
you know, the ability to have, and I think it's another, like, crutch thing that Ace is able to do is we're able to address the situation at hand instantly.
Right.
Whether it be with manpower or with material.
Right. You have the resources.
We have they come through with the resource to make it happen every time to ensure, like I said, man, because the number one thing is ensuring that guest experience is as best as we can deliver.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it shines every time, man.
I get. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like we should make the football a tradition at Mountain Music Fest?
Sure. You know, one of the traditions I used to have was we used to go out and Big Something. Let me back this up. Big Something has been a tradition at that event since day one. Big Something was the very first band to ever play on that stage, and they played at 4 p.m. to probably 10 people.
Okay.
And the main reason I booked that band was because Dan Freeman, and it was Dan Freeman and Jay Hayes and Ben Plyben went to Camp Barefoot and saw him. And Dan comes back the next year. He's like, man, you got to get these guys.
Right.
And so I started checking them out. And, of course, I threw them on the bill. Well, they got a shit slot. They got a raw damn deal, man. And I watched them play, and I was just absolutely astounded by the quality of musicianship and the way that they melt melody lines into the jam band genre that they slide right into.
Right.
So I made a promise to Nick McDaniels that I would have him back the next year. So I had him back the next year, put him in a better time slot, and they just killed it.
Yeah.
And those guys, man, I think the world of every damn one of them. I consider every damn one of them to be my friend. And they are a tradition. They are a tradition at that festival. They are the only band, I think I'm telling you the truth, that they're the only band that has been there from day one.
Every single year.
Every single year in some capacity. Now, there's been years where, due to private obligations and just private lives, that they couldn't play the main stage, that we had to put them as a headliner on Thursday at the bar, but hell, it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back to tradition. I closed out that festival, I think, 4 years in a row. Yeah. With Nick McDaniels and a couple of the guys from Big Something singing We Bid You Good Night.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And that was some of the funnest. Because usually at the end, and here's another thing too, this year I still had my voice.
Yeah.
That tells me it was a good year.
Mine was gone on Sunday.
I didn't have to yell, man.
Right.
So it worked out good. But that's a tradition I would like to bring back, man. Because the way I'd like to see it done is all the artists come out.
Right.
And we've done it. We've done it a handful of times, man, where all the artists that were there still came out and participated. And it was a lot of fun.
Well, I feel like, too, I mean, and this was, my first year being MC or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's something, that I can help organize along the way. Just like, hey, make sure you're here for this, whatever.
And I think the football thing's
football.
fantastic.
And I do just want to say this about the football. I meant to get this on tape. I don't know if anybody did or not. But the story behind that football was that Jenna Lemon, her and her son came over to my house on my birthday this year, and that was my birthday present, was that. And
you re-gifted it?
I happened to have it in my car, and I started thinking, I was like, well, I need something that all these guys can sign, and I want it to be something that I can, give out to the audience.
I'll tell you something else.
The football was perfect.
You're the first person that's ever been successful at getting every artist there to sign anything.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I've tried it for years. Chris Collins tried it. We've all tried it for years, and it's just never It's never panned out that way.
It was just a matter of being everywhere you needed to be.
I know. I'm sitting there, and they're like, "Here comes Ian," going, "Hey man, sign the football."
Dude, and just on that note, I once again totally fucked up meeting Tyler Childers. 3 times I've walked up to him, and every time he's just looked at me like, okay, whatever, I'll sign this, but get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean?
But it's not like that.
I know it's not.
No.
I know it's not.
No.
But like the night when you guys did the Healing Appalachia thing,
yeah.
and he stayed down to General Lewis, and I was waiting tables down there the next night, and I mean, he was, I was talking to a couple down there, sitting at the tables. Yeah. And I was waiting on their table, and they said, they had 3 sons between the 3 of them. All of them had gone through opioid addiction. One of them almost overdosed. They were from North Carolina. They were trying to get tickets to see Tyler in North Carolina. They were like,
sells out.
$800. People were scalping them for it. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So they
he
drove
hates
up.
that.
I know, absolutely.
That's not him.
Yeah, that's totally not on him at all. But they found out about the Healing Appalachia thing. So they drove up here for it. They stayed at the General Lewis. They said they had, by the way, they said that was an amazing run event. They had an incredible time. And they're sitting there telling their story to me, and I was like, man, that's really fantastic. And then I wasn't even aware. They didn't know. Well, I'm outside, like, sending them off, and Tyler was staying at the hotel. And he comes outside, and they're just sitting, their jaws, like, hit the ground, Yeah, and man. Tyler just started talking to him, was hanging out with him. And in the meantime, I was trying to get a poster signed for Leanna because she was coming back from Qatar. And so, he's talking to him, and I'm, like, slipping this poster at him, and he's just like signing it. I'm like, geez. Like, I can't just get a good word in with this guy, whatever. And I guess I have, like, fanboyed out a little on him. But
man,
anyway, all due respect, Tyler, I know, like, it is what it is.
I will say, man, he, in his heart of hearts, and he's no different, man, than what he's a lot smarter. Mm-hmm. He's a lot wiser about things, but he's just the same old. He'd be sitting here with us right now, man. Just drinking beer and telling stories, man. He's just a normal dude. Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't, sleep on a golden pillow or poop in a golden toilet. Right. It's not. And like I mean,
that's it's impressive too, considering like how his career is going, and
yes,
I feel like when people catch that fast, they're quick to be like they're quick to sort of jump into this like I'm famous train and all this
Man,
but he's a humble guy. He's got humble roots.
I've never seen it with him. I hope I never do, but I don't really honestly think I ever will, man. He is who he is, man. Yeah. I don't think anybody could change that dude.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, there was people because I was carrying that football around all weekend. That's the key to getting everybody to sign something. Have it on you at all times. Mm-hmm. And just anybody you run into, be like, hey, I need you to sign this. But people they found out Tyler's signature on it. They were taking pictures of that football and all that. And I heard when I actually threw it out in the crowd, dude, I didn't think I was going to get halfway past that crowd. That fucking thing hit the box that those girls were hula hooping on.
Yeah.
And this was a lady that I saw the next morning. We were getting coffee by the Strange Stage. Is it Strange Brew?
Strange Brew Coffee.
Yep. Big
Great
shout
coffee.
to those guys. We were standing in line to get coffee, and she had been front row the whole night, and she was like, dude, that thing with the football and the national anthem, she was loving the whole thing. Yeah. And then she had heard, like, through the grapevine that the football bounced off one of those boxes, and there was a girl that heard a big thud behind her and just turned around thinking something was coming at her and just banked it right in her hands. And the thing never touched the ground. This girl just caught it, and somebody had to explain it to her what it was, and she was like, holy shit. So I'm like, hey, honey, that's probably a $2,500 football you got in your fucking hands right now. Yeah. But I'd like to keep that tradition alive, man, and definitely look forward to coming back and emceeing.
One thing I want to plug, too, man, is Healing Appalachia.
Yeah.
It's an important event. We raised $94,000 last year. Tyler Childers has agreed to champion this event because it's hit his neck of the woods. Absolutely. Just as hard as it's hit all of us.
Now, when you say champion, do you mean he's going to sponsor it, or is he going to try to play every year?
No, he's lended his brand to it, and he's a part of it every year. Gotcha. He's done a lot of hard work on the back end to ensure our stability as a 501.
Right.
And in committing himself and with his name recognition and with just basically lending his brand to us.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's been real helpful. It's going to be September 28th this year at the West Virginia State Fairgrounds. Man, it's going to be a hell of a lineup. I can't really talk about it now, but if if you like concerts, this is going to be one hell of a go.
And last year was a blast. I mean, it was an
and understand
blast.
too that everything we do, we are a board of 3, 4, 5, 6 members.
Right.
All of us are 100% volunteer. We do not take a dime.
Right. And you guys raised what last year?
94,000.
94,000?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And
man.
I don't even want to speculate as to what we're going to do this year.
Right.
I'm expecting to do some really big things and try to make an impact. And what spawned all this, man, was Tracy.
Kelly's
sister.
Yeah.
When her nephew Bo
No
died,
shit,
man.
yeah.
I didn't know Bo.
I didn't either, but yeah, definitely know his story. I mean,
It struck a chord in me that said, be the change you want to see. Don't sit back and just watch this shit go down. Be a part of something.
Right.
And it moved me. It really moved me. And I got in my toolbox and organized my friends together. We created a board. I got a killer board, man.
Yeah.
And everybody's heart's in the right spot. Everybody's mind's in the right spot. And we're like a freight train speeding down a mountain right now, man. We're hoping to make some really big changes. We've got some super big things coming up, man. And if they all line up, man, I think we're going to make a dent in this issue that we've got. Not in West Virginia, man. It's Appalachia.
Right.
Well,
it's a nationwide thing.
God, but us here, man, we're getting
we're
hammered,
hurting
son.
from that, yeah.
So keep your ears to the ground. This year's going to be a good one.
Okay, yeah. Well, let me know if you feel in any way that if you want to add comedy.
We'll announce it. It's hard to add comedy, man, to an event about.
You'd be surprised. Like,
well, it might be some levity. I don't know. I was skeptical about in comedy at Mountain Music Fest, but I think it went over.
Dude, it went great. I mean,
it went phenomenal.
On behalf of me and Andy, seriously, I know Andy was really grateful.
You fucking killed it.
We had a blast, dude. We both.
Ian did okay, but Andy, you did way better.
He ain't lying. I had a slightly bigger crowd, but I think Andy did a little bit better.
But anyways, Healing Appalachia this year is going to be a good one, man. We've got some cool stuff that we're planning. September 28th at the West Virginia State Fairgrounds. Pay attention.
Very good, man.
It's going to be a good one.
Right on. Well, Charlie, I just want to say, man, you're a resourceful guy. You're tapped into a lot of things. You own this shop. You're a musician. You're using your resources to really, really, do good things around here, and that's what the whole Dingus Stinkfinger sort of mentality is about.
Be the change you want to see, man.
Absolutely, man. So, I love you, man. We're all friends and everything, but on behalf of our listeners and everybody else, thank you for doing what you can to contribute to what we're doing around here and making just the world a better place to live in. You know what I'm saying?
That's my goal, man.
That being said, I do have a question for you.
10 inches.
I don't have. Oh my God.
Can we put that on there?
Yeah, that'll be on there. That's on. I mean, we all know it's a bold-faced lie, but in the vein of Dingus Stinkfinger becoming a brand itself, right? Mm-hmm. And trying to turn this into a formidable means of income and spreading the words and all that stuff. I'm realizing that when you do these podcasts, you need to have sponsors, right?
Yeah.
And I have 0 sponsors right now. And so what I'm asking you, Finger Ease. Is there CEO here?
For all your lubricating finger needs, it's good.
It's pretty good stuff. I'll get on the phone with them, but I'm going to ask you personally, and I'm going to give you this special rate, all right, right now. If you're willing to be a sponsor for the Who is Dingus Stinkfinger podcast from here on out, I'm going to charge you a guitar pick for every episode. Sound good?
Yeah, hold on. Find the free ones they give us.
We'll get the good stuff.
Make it rain. Make it rain.
Paying it forward. That's like 15 episodes right there. The free stuff.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Beautiful. All right, well, you're in like Flynn, man. And
I got my money's worth.
You did, absolutely. I mean, we'll say that's for, your first appearance.
So we need to do another one for Healing Appalachia.
We absolutely will. Yeah.
We should do one for HMAF too. Huntington Music and Arts Festival.
I talked to, was it Keeby?
Yep.
Yeah, I talked to
Keeby
Keeby this
Gilkerson.
weekend. He sounds like he's in
Yep.
to meet up some more and do some podcast stuff and
Yep.
get me on doing comedy.
We can bring
up
some of the
there,
whiz
so-
bang guys in, and
That'd be great. Yeah.
we should start doing musical guests.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a ton of people we're waiting out there to interview. That actually being said, if you're listening to this right now, go to the website. Our feature for the month is Jocelyn Sharp. She's a comedian. I used to work with her out in Vegas. She's absolutely one of my favorite comedians of all time. Not local comedian, not female comedian, none of that. One of my favorite comedians of all time. She's going to come out here. She's doing 3 dates. We're June 27th at the Burrito Bar, June 28th at the Bacova Beer Company in Hot Springs, Virginia, and then we'll be back at the Wild Bean in Lewisburg for my big Laughing with the Ladies show.
I gotta say,
in Lewisburg. So
those
check her
shows at the Wild Bean are fucking funnier than hell.
out.
They're a hoot because you see all these people you don't know,
Right.
and I don't know, man. It's a good time.
Well, from my end, man, like all the comics that I've had come play are like, this has been one of my favorite gigs.
Sure.
People coming in from out of town are like,
Sure.
dude, this is fun as hell.
Man, I bring
Lewisburg
artists.
is a great town.
Yeah,
for
I was just
comedy,
about to say,
you know?
it's a great town for art. I bring artists in here that they're like, man, I don't know about this. And Wild Bean.
Yeah.
You need to talk to Roger. Roger won't ever get on your podcast.
No, I think he's a little camera shy,
He is.
but I think the
But
Wild
Roger
Bean,
Bean,
his name has been shouted on
Roger
every
Dolan
cast
and the
so
Wild
far,
Bean
so.
needs to be paid attention to because what he's doing for this community, and he sticks his neck out to bring different things in here that
Absolutely.
otherwise would never have come here, and he's turning them into be successes.
Yeah.
It's a good time being.
And they're good.
Lewisburg.
I mean, and for anybody out there listening, if you're a band, musician, comedian, whatever, this town really does like show a lot of love. And
They do.
if you come out here and you have, you put on a
But
good
get your
show,
shit
impress
together.
People,
Get your
people will
shit
continue to
together.
follow you.
If you don't have your shit together, and man, that's another thing. Bands, let me tell you.
About to get a lesson.
Yeah, I see 30 to 40 submissions for Mountain Music Fest a week. And I do look at every one of them. I do. You got 30 seconds of my time. If I open up your email and you're requesting for me to pay attention to you for Mountain Fest, you can fuck off.
Right.
If you can't say what you're applying for,
You don't even dial in enough.
I don't
to look up
even
the name of it. Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah, I got you.
Get your shit together. Make sure your links work. Give all of your information. And make sure that the first link that you send is the best one.
You're hot shit. Yeah,
You're
you
hot.
want that right off the bat.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's woo.
Well, it's a mess out there, but I mean that's something we're hoping to kind of inspire, like with this whole thing, is that people realize, you know what, if I take that extra step, if I maybe like hire
means
somebody
a lot.
to like get this shit together for us, because
It
not all
means
not
a
all
lot.
artists think about marketing shit that
No.
way. But we're trying to get people to get in that mentality, like if your music's there, your music's there,
Well, here's
but
the
you
thing.
have to
Think
know that
about
other
this.
side.
Think
of it,
about how
you
many
know?
musicians and people you know that are creative as hell, and you always say to yourself, "Man, why is that guy not out there doing it?" He's not doing it because he or she is not doing it because they don't have a team behind them.
Right.
They don't have their shit together on the marketing side of things. You can be the best goddamn musician in the world, man. I know a fucking pile of them, same as you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they can't get their shit together.
Yeah, I know comics, and with comedy, it's just you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you have to worry about 5, 6 other guys in a band.
No.
It's just you, and even those guys, all it would take was like either them doing a couple of weeks of research into figuring out how do I market myself, how do I do this,
save
whatever,
up.
or
It's
save a little bit of
worth
money
the
and pay
fucking
somebody else to do
$500 to
it.
$1,000 you're going to spend to pay somebody to organize your shit
Right.
or show you a path.
Get yourself up there. Take that
Yes.
next step. You know,
Quit dicking off.
digging off, man. Well,
Quit,
anyway,
quit paying bar tabs, motherfucker. Stay home.
right.
Drink some
And
Budweisers at
maybe
home, baby.
one day, you know,
Get some Bud Heavies.
some butt heavies, you know, for that ass. Nice. Well, Charlie, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Yeah, man. Glad I could be here.
Always love for you. And in the meantime, guys, go above, live beyond, be a Stinkfinger. We'll see you next time.
Out.
Nice, dude.
Is that a good one?
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That was great.
My wife's gonna tell me I'm a fucking moron.
You should have seen Ewing when I did his. Check 1, 2. So Charlie, tell us about the fattest woman you've ever had sexual relations with. Oh, there goes a Popo. You hear somebody else just got shot at Dory Miller.
Really?
20 fucking minutes ago, yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Crazy as this shit. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check. It needs to be back here. Is where it needs
Brought to you by Finger Ease.
All right. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check.
Finger Easy keeps it great. Hello. Don't you wanna know me?
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, all my babies out there in babyland. We'll take a step at his